tonight. It looks like it is just going to be the three of us for the Groomers Cut this evening, which is totally fine. You've got, and one more coming in. Here comes Katie. So there is four of us. I was just going into our intro, Katie.
Hello.
Welcome to the final Groomers Cut of 2021. We have had quite a topsy-turvy year of additions and changing and topics and laughter. And, the one thing I will say, none of us have cried.
Oh,
We haven't had any
Okay.
tears on this show,
is
so that's
true.
probably a
Not
good
on
thing.
screen.
Not on screen.
Okay.
So,
Clarify.
if you are watching us for the first time, we are on 9 platforms. Please give Facebook permission so that we can see your name in our comments. You might not be watching on one platform that we're getting questions, so we will go and answer those and put out the comments that we see, so you won't be left out of the conversation. And we were just going to kind of have some fun tonight since it is the final of the year. And Jennifer's on vacation. Others are still working, so we're just going to go with this and see. How was everyone's Christmas?
Good.
Michelle, how did you guys do?
It was amazing. I baked a bunch of bread and a cake, and I don't know. We ate.
You
and
ate?
slept.
Was it just you and Dawn, or did you have company?
Oh, no, just Dawn and I.
Yeah.
Yeah, that way you can just, walk around in your underwear and bare feet and fat out and just be by yourself. All the advertising and Christmas sales and 20% off, and he didn't do his ears right and just 1 foot and blah, blah, blah.
Very nice.
Have some downtime finally and just I had no obligations on those 2 days, and I think that was fantastic.
Yeah.
That's nice. Good.
Yeah. Katie, did you have to work it?
Oh, I wasn't supposed to, but yes.
oh.
Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, because Katie has a boarding facility,
Yeah.
so on the floor no matter what.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all right.
And Chrissy hosted for the first time in a long time.
A long time. My mother-in-law, my brother-in-law came up, and boy, am I so glad I took the day before Christmas entirely off. I know Dara was trying to convince me.
I did.
She
I
made
tried
it sound
hard.
really appealing, and I was like, heck no.
She
But
did. She
having
was
that-
like, I
having
like
that
you, but
extra
no.
day. Oh, that extra day was great.
Yeah.
But to have
Good
house
for you.
guests, and now they went home, and we have more house guests coming. A family staying with us this week for New Year's.
For New Year's. Good thing we're
We
not
get-
working.
We get enough time to change the sheets, start over again.
Yeah. It was quiet for us too. It was just Lee and I. It was nice.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice, and the doggos. Can't go wrong with that. So,
Yep.
and we cooked and we ate and we drank. And we watched Christmas movies and non-Christmas movies. How's that?
Sounds lovely.
Yep. No presents to be opened because we buy year round for each other. So, it
I'll hold
wasn't.
back. I'm not waiting months for my thing that I want.
Yep. So, yeah. So, well, that's good. And any plans for the coming new year? Parties? Anything? Working?
I'm basically working, and then we'll go New Year's Day off. But sis, we are booked, and there's just no getting around it. It's what happened this year. Nobody paid attention, and our receptionist is doing her job so well that we are just, there is no space. There's no space unless you have a short-footed dog under 20 pounds.
That's I guess a good problem to have for the business owners.
That's a good,
So now you need a
Yeah.
night shift. You need someone to come in
Right.
and work the 5 to 11.
No, because then they'll call in sick and you'll end up doing it. They haven't done it. No,
That is a true story.
no.
I'm living it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, oh, no, no, no.
Well,
In order to do that, there will have to be blood side contracts, airtight alibis. It would have to be somebody special to say, okay, yeah, I'll take those hours, or no.
People
Yeah.
chained to workstations.
yeah.
You're getting buckled in for your shift.
Right?
Ooh.
Yeah. Chain them to the table.
We're
Chained to the table.
watching. There are lots of eyes in the sky. Hi, Lori.
Hello, hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You know everyone here.
Yes, ma'am,
This
I
is
do.
Lori's
Hello.
first time being on the spot here with us tonight. So, hey,
Yes.
it's a good way to bring in the new year.
Thank you, thank you. Sorry for being tardy on this.
That's all right. So we were just chit-chatting and talking about our holiday and what's coming up and how hard I tried to get Chrissy to work the day before.
Yeah, you know, Chrissy,
No
what
regret.
were you doing?
I was sitting on my couch watching Ink Master.
You see, I should have dragged her. I should have dragged her in.
Yep.
I got some housework done, but I did nothing important.
I mean, if you want to come and do my housework, please, by all means.
We can trade houses. It's always easier to clean someone else's house.
That is
yes,
true.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
you just put stuff back where you think it should go.
Right.
Right.
No emotional attachment. Just throw stuff and make it clean.
That's Katie knows that's my cleaning style. If it's not in
Yeah.
the right place, I put it where I think it should be. And then she's like, where did I left that right there. I'm like,
Except for when you moved all my phones, they were brilliant. They were exactly where I needed them to go.
see, I do some things right.
Yeah.
Well, luckily, phones aren't that important.
Oh, they're important.
They're important.
I have 3 to 4 in my station always. Everyone else has none.
I was going to say, we have 6 cordless phones, and I'm constantly like,
Yeah.
there's another one, and there's another one.
That's
And
because
she
4's
picks
in my
one up and
station.
cocks it and puts it down, and they are like everywhere. And then I got to go back at night and put them back on the chargers. And remember where I put the chargers.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yep.
So you
So,
guys, what are we doing for this new year?
what are we doing? You mean like what are we kicking off this
Yeah,
year?
like what's the new thing? What's the gig? What's the next goalpost? What's the thing that you
I
guys
know.
are excited about this coming year?
Go ahead.
Well, I am proud to say that I'm doing your class, Michelle. And holy cow, I'm obsessed. And that's my goal as far as also Chrissy's class as well.
Oh, you doing that one too?
I
I'm
won't
trying to
be able
convince
to,
you.
I'm going to miss this one because I won't be able to start today. So I'm going to have to start the next one, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yes, Chrissy's
Yeah.
starting her second round of
First level. Yeah.
future behavior specialists.
Yes.
How's
Yes.
it going, Chrissy?
They're having a lot of fun.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
the first level 100 students just passed and started level 200. So
Oh,
That's
yeah.
so
yeah,
exciting.
yeah, and they
Fun.
did really well. They
That's
did
awesome.
They
really
did
well.
really well. Yep.
Yeah, it is so nice to see those written answers with people who just totally get it.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
so nice.
Yep. She sent me all the grades to put in their files, and it was like, oh.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
It's always so exciting to see those first few coming through in that first kickoff and to watch the progression that Chrissy has made over the last 8 weeks with this class and getting it and being your confidence level in it, Chrissy, is just
Yes.
it's like
Nice.
What
Oh
it is
my
the
gosh.
stress level went down as I started it. Like Michelle
Yeah.
was telling me, just get going, just get
Right.
starting.
Right.
And once I got started and I have some templates and some processes, and
Mhm.
now that the
You can
stress level
always
went
go back
down.
and change it because information changes. Maybe you
Right.
want to tidy something up, but get the information out there. And that goes for everybody in this new year. If you're trying to write a book, develop a technique or a new idea, or you want to do a podcast, or you want to, whatever it is that you want to do, start doing it. This is the year. Why not? You're not getting any younger.
Right.
Absolutely,
That is
yeah.
true.
Once
Yep.
you get it on paper or get it recorded, then you can go back and tweak it. That's why there are second and third editions of things.
Yep.
They get revised, and that's what education is. You want to make sure you're current. You want to make sure that you're grammatically correct. Make sure that your terms are correct. For the first part of my career, when I was first starting out trying to actually teach, I learned a bunch of stuff in Italian. So here I am trying to translate words so that it made sense in English, and I still got a lot of them wrong. I think I still have one diagram that has one term that's not in like a correct English term that I get corrected on all the time. I'm like, well, it's correct, but it's just in a different language.
Hmm.
So that really gets confusing. But I think there's one more diagram I have to go back over and change. But wow, Chrissy, yeah.
Well, like my podcast started off as trying to write a book.
Yeah.
And at every turn, I was like, I need to update this. I need to update this. And then I found out about podcasting. I'm like, oh, I can talk. That's not a problem.
I know a lot
I
of
think
people
college
have
radio
really
experience.
good information, and they have really good tips and tricks, and maybe they have some knowledge to share. But they're so stuck on it has to be perfect before I publish it.
Yeah.
And it will never be perfect. So get it out there and then start working on the second edition.
That's what I was just about to say, is it's never going to be perfect the first time. You've got to. I mean, we've come through that for the school.
Yep.
And I love being somebody's cheerleader. So if there's somebody out there who's like, hey, I'm unsure, I was there. I'm still there. I'm constantly doubting myself. I'll be your cheerleader all day long.
Oh, she's really good at it. I will say that.
Yes.
And then she gives you treats.
And then she gives you treats. Good girl.
She does. Peanut butter crackers, if you wondering.
Peanut butter crackers, yes.
Oh, that's right. She was. That was the last day we worked together. Chrissy's walking around going, would you like some peanut butter crackers?
Dropping them in mouths.
Yeah.
You guys are looking stressed. Peanut butter cracker?
It wasn't Polly want a cracker.
I'm a dog
it was
trainer.
Peanut butter cracker. So bringing in the new year, I threw some topics out on our spreadsheet, and I've been kind of waiting for some feedback for it, but I think it definitely needs some tweaking. But some of the topics that I wanted to put out there was basic salon maintenance. How about and salon maintenance being, how are you maintaining your tables and clippers and when in the dryers and that sort of thing, your main bulk equipment, the stuff that we use day to day, not about the cleaning and cleanliness of it, but the maintenance of it. When do you send it off? How frequently? So talking a little bit about that for the month. Getting into sanitation, we talk a lot about that on this. I know Angie has added a lot of new stuff to her class. So getting and talking more in depth with her on that. So I think that kind of pulls in a full month of talking about. Then we talk about our and Katie, you'll be a good one to talk about the furnaces and our air conditioner units and that sort of thing, and how we maintain those items too, or if we have to. So that's a lot. One thing that I know we really haven't talked about is the electrical outlets and how often those should be cleaned behind.
Yep.
Clipper vacs and how you're properly taking those. I'm not going to be an expert in that, but I can tell you, and Lori and Chrissy, how we take those shop vacs apart that we clean
Right.
with. And Lori and I just did that with Faith before we closed. We took them completely apart, took all the hoses off, ran stuff through the hoses. Oh my God, they were filthy. It was
Yeah.
disgusting.
It's amazing how
So,
dirty those hoses get.
I think that's a really good way maybe to kick off the new year and to have that as part of a first come ups. But I really want some feedback from other people out there too.
And how to get it on a regular schedule so it's getting done regularly.
Yeah.
That is key.
Yeah. Even if it's not everything every time, but you're working on creating, like you said, that good schedule. So I know we wanted to talk about a history month and have a couple weeks of the history of our industry and how it came about and the start of it in the beginning and the evolution of the industry itself. Maybe talk from someone who's been from the 70s and there's got some of those, I don't want to say old time, but you know what I'm talking about. Somebody who's been there through the thick and thin and how they feel about what the changes have come about. So that might be neat to have somebody on that.
How the processes have changed so
I'm gonna have to
much.
bid you goodbye.
You got to go.
Yeah, I have another obligation.
Yes.
After you're done watching this show, you can check out the traveling groomers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she's going. Do you want to say you're the interviewee tonight?
Yes, I'm going to be on the traveling groomers with Mary Quendo and Chris Anson.
Share it after it's done on the Pet Pros.
Perfect. All right.
Yep. All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So that's kind of, that's where I was going. I think we've done a lot of talk about customer service and employees and that sort of thing, but we really haven't gotten heavily into the OSHA compliances, management of safety and health, emergency evacuation plans. So that's
that's a great topic too.
Yeah, definitely.
Evacuation plans, that's a big one.
And I'm throwing that
disaster
back
preparedness.
How about fall and slip protection?
That's good.
So
somebody was having a discussion about lifting dogs too, and a little bit about what's safe and what's not. When do you ask for help?
How about just a teamwork environment?
That's a good one.
It's so important to have teamwork and realizing some salons don't work in that team environment. Even if you're commissioned, forget about hourly, but the fact is the lack of teamwork in salons sometimes it's just so baffling to me. I mean, I could never, it doesn't matter what if it's hourly commission, but if someone needs help, if I see you struggling with this dog, I won't say, oh, well, that's not my problem. That sucks. I just don't understand that, and it's important to try to educate people and get past selfishness and help others because we're all in it together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And with the right amount of teamwork, you can have some more joy in your job.
Yes.
You're not always watching your back like, well, no one's going to tell me if my dog poops in his cage. Of course we're going to tell you. We're going to clean it up and we'll tell you,
I'm not just going to leave your dog sitting in it.
I'm just going to leave your dog sitting in it because it's not my problem. That's crazy.
Right.
And I think we've all worked places like that before.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah. Which is why a lot of us get out of that and become our own bosses because.
Exactly.
Raise your hand. It's self-employment.
We go back and forth about that. Chrissy and I talk about this all the time, the differences between it, because you've been self-employed for what, 20 something years? And then
21.
21 years.
Because
And
I got fed up.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
2 years ago, you came back on as an employee.
Yeah,
For
a couple
me,
days a week. Dara's a great boss, though. Like, I was like, I'm never going to work for anybody else. But, you know.
But I had the same argument with myself. I'm like, I'm never working for anyone else. And then Derek comes along, and I'm like, well,
I like
she's
to
pretty
teach.
fantastic.
I know, right?
this is not about me, guys. This is about you. It's about you guys being just as great also. So yeah, I've got I was thinking another thing to talk about, which we've never done, and there really hasn't been I think this is good because we've not gotten into per se grooming. So talking about styles, talking
Mhm.
about hand stripping, talking about faces and scissoring and that sort of thing. I think that would be a good topic because again, we've not really ever quite focused on grooming as much as we've talked about everything else.
Right.
So that still leaves like 6 months to fill. I know I have talked to Angie and I know she's watching, but we had also talked about doing a small animal month as well. So
Oh
that
yeah,
we
we
can
definitely
talk
should.
about bunnies
Rabbits and
and
guinea pigs
guinea
and yeah.
pigs. Yes.
Yep.
So, and creating for that because we've done felines. So now we got to give. So come on, what else? Anybody else have something to add to that while we're here?
Well,
We've got a lot of
I
viewers out there watching, viewers. I would love some topics so that I can grow this.
Right. Well, I was just asked about. I recently moved, and they want me to groom their horses in the facility that's across the street from mine. So that's going to be a new experience because I won't groom my horse. But that's going to be another one to. I guess I know there's some equine groomers out there, and I would love to learn more about that and see what they did with that.
Yep.
Horses and dogs go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they always say the equestrian girls really do make great groomers.
They do.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of us horse people are.
Yeah.
Well, I put a dairy cow in a show trim once.
You told me about that.
Yeah.
There's
awesome.
an actual show trim for dairy cows. Yeah.
I used to show steer. So.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yep. There's so many things. All right. So we got a lot out there. But yeah, we do. I will start putting these out there and looking for more topics because we've
So I
got.
have an idea for a topic.
Okay.
I think that I'm always working that behavior angle, but I think a lot of groomers don't really understand the developmental phases of our dogs.
Yeah.
And even talking about developmental phases, like why at 8 months old, you're like, oh my God, I taught this dog how to be good. Now he's 8 months old and he's doing this crazy stuff because he's 8 months old. And to have an idea of what puppyhood and adolescence and early adulthood and senior years and developmental phases are interesting.
Right.
Okay. I will
think
add
that's a great
that one.
idea.
Yeah. No, Katie's got a lot of information on that too. Yeah.
Yeah. I focus more on the senior end of it, but yeah. Because I don't have the patience for puppies.
Well,
I'm like a nice rowdy adolescent, but then I'm a nice rowdy adolescent. So. I'm gonna own it.
And frankly, puppies and seniors. It's not that much different, but for some reason, I have more patience with the old.
But I have to
acting up than the young acting up.
I have to agree with you, Katie, because you give me this senile senior dog.
Oh yeah.
I absolutely love them.
Yeah.
Absolutely love them.
Yeah.
But the puppies, it's like, come on. Yeah.
But I hear just as many groomers who feel like once a dog is a senior, they're like, he knows better. And that they don't necessarily understand, like, yeah, this dog his whole body has changed, and
right,
like developmentally, his brain might not be thinking the same way it was even 6 months ago.
Exactly.
Yeah, they do age a lot faster than we do. And if we're not expecting that aging process and just seeing our own dogs, when you see that aging process come so quickly when you're not
Mhm.
expecting it and not knowing how to cope and deal with it, or putting a newer groomer in a position to not be as patient with a senior because they're
Right.
more focused on themselves
Right.
and creating something that they don't necessarily need to on that particular animal. I
Right.
think we talk a
Yeah.
lot about it on the floor with the students when they're there is the difference between a humanitarian
Yep.
grooming
Yep.
and getting them done as quickly and calmly as possible, even with puppies.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
So
not everybody.
even just developmentally, I think a lot of people are like, "Oh, this puppy was so good," not knowing that that's part of their age. At
Right.
4 months old, that puppy's going to be very different, and it's not
Yeah.
because anybody did anything
Mhm.
wrong. But you can't just
We
tell
see it.
owners he was good
Yeah.
because owners are like, "He's great for grooming," and think that that's complete.
Yep. We see that in daycare too all the time. Yep.
Yeah.
You see
Yeah.
the transformations.
The but last week he wasn't jumping on me. This week he's jumping on me. We thought
Okay,
we
I got
had
you.
this, you know what I
Under
mean? It's
control.
the same
Right.
Mhm.
it's that same developmental.
Yeah.
My first question is, well, how old is he?
Yeah.
This is my first question.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I find a
Always.
lot of groomers find it really frustrating until they realize, like, oh, wait, how old is he? And what,
Yeah.
when you understand developmental phases, you're like, oh, okay, that
Yeah.
makes more sense to
Exactly.
me.
Yep.
He's
Yep.
not a puppy who's gone bad.
Yeah.
I know, right?
My
That
puppy's not
rogue.
ruined.
Right.
Oh,
Or we just go, it's a doodle.
Aww.
oh, the poor doodles,
But
man.
honestly, if you treat doodles like they're lab or golden retriever puppies with a really complicated coat,
Yeah.
then you can remember, like, oh God, yeah, we're expecting a lot from this puppy because
Mhm.
they are.
Yeah.
They're little hunting dogs, and
Yep.
we put them in these really complicated coats and send them to owners who don't understand how to brush, and
Or
disasters happen.
Yeah.
yep.
Maybe we just need to have a whole show on doodles.
But the
Oh, yeah.
people who
Maybe.
need to hear it won't listen.
It's
No.
true.
I love
No,
talking.
we could do a whole talk about doodles and their owners.
I can
Yeah.
tell you the videos I've sent of how to brush a doodle to their own clients. I work on their dog and I video, and I'm like, this is how you properly
Right.
brush
Yep.
your own dog. And
Yep.
they love that. They love that I send them videos, It's like, this is what I mean when I say your dog can't get a brush through.
Yep.
And why. And how we can fix it.
Yep.
So we don't brush with a banana, a spoon, or a whisk.
Whisk.
A spork. It's a spork, Chrissy. A spork.
Oh, okay, sorry.
You gotta have a little bit at the time, just to go over the top.
Yep.
No rubber curries.
Is there a too far?
It's just a line,
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, we've got some, but
Yeah.
I think it's a good start for the year. So that
Mhm.
fills in quite a few of the months.
This time of year, I'm always trying to figure out what I want to do for myself professionally for the next year.
Yep.
All right.
Like New Year's resolutions, and like, all right, what do I want to do for myself to raise the bar for myself this year?
Right.
I wonder how many other people do that, or like what their
Mhm.
business goals are, or,
Yeah. I'm doing the same thing right now. So, yeah.
I set,
Figure out where I'm going in 2022.
Yeah.
Hmm.
all right. So I set a 1 month plan, a 3 month, a 6 month, a 9, and a 12.
Oh.
And then a 3-year and a 5-year plan.
Wow.
Dara, do you want to come help me?
I was just going to say that.
Right? Do you have a template? Can you
Right.
share this with us?
Because,
Now-
I know where I want to get to.
Now,
but
I write it all down with a pencil
Hmm?
so that it can all be tweaked and erased.
right,
Yep.
And I
right.
write it down. I don't type it. It's not on my computer. I physically have to write it down. And I do that because I feel like if I'm writing it down, I'm manually doing it, not this computer that's keeping it hostage. So
Yeah.
I can put it on. Hold on, I'll show you what I got here. Are you ready for this? I have 2 different workbooks that I work out of. Okay. I've got my Phoenix and I got my Fox. And these are my planners. And I follow them. Yep.
So do you put things down as like finish dates and stuff?
Finish dates?
Yeah.
No. I put down my business goals. I do a lot of, and I do put some because I'm so mentally into my business personally as well as physically. But now also know I have 3 businesses that I'm running.
Right.
So this is not just the grooming shop, the grooming school. This is now racing. This is personal too, because my personal goals are changing these books.
Right.
Yeah.
And changes that have happened in 2021 in our personal lives are changing these books drastically. So that's why I do pencil, because I can tweak it and I can change it. But if you put it down like that, at least for me, I see it, I can visualize it, and I can read it and I can go back to it. And when it happens, I can check it off.
Yeah.
And I don't erase it, but I write it, I check it off. And that way it's done. And it's like, oh, I did that. And sometimes I have to go back pages and go, oh, I forgot I wrote that one down. Oh, I got to get back to that. It could be as simple as reading. I have books here that I really like, my discovery books that I really like to read. And I've been doing some online business classes. And so those kind of propel me, because I want to go to the next level business wise. And for me, I know a lot of people who watch and follow want to go the next level grooming wise. But for me, I think I'm the difference between being a business owner and being an entrepreneur. And and Lori and even Chrissy, Katie, you do too. You know that for me, the day-to-day runnings, I don't have the patience for that. That's not what I do. My thing is the startup. So I need that. What's next? I got to have that constantly.
But what I think is important too is having a mentor, because sometimes you reach a certain level and you're like, okay, well, I don't know what to do. I think I'm good. But there's someone who always has more experience, and having someone that you can always kind of look up to and, appreciate how hard they work and have that goal for yourself as well. I know for myself, I have my own mentors, and having it written down in a book, that's brilliant. Something that I want to start doing as well. But needing a mentor, I can't stress how much it's important to have one, because I never thought. I've been grooming for almost 16 years now, which is a long time, but I never really had a mentor until I would say about a year ago. And now I'm way above and beyond of what I want to be. And my goals are just even bigger than what I thought was ever possible had I not ever started having a mentor. If that makes sense, And I inspired speaking with you, Katie, and Chrissy, Dara, all of you guys, just being able to pick your brains and say, okay, you've been grooming for over 30, 40 years, and I'm 16. So to me, I'm a baby groomer compared to you guys. you know what I mean? And having mentors, I just can't stress how important it is. Just even if it's someone you follow online, reach out to them, say, hey, I like how you do things. Can I visit with you? And I've done that. I've done that with people I've never met.
You do it a lot. You do it a lot.
Yeah. And I absolutely love it. Whether, I have a mobile groomer myself that I love her personality. I love her energy. And I'm like, hey, can I see what you do and what you're about? Because I like to always educate myself. I've been doing it for 16 years. Doesn't mean I know anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, and that's why conferences are so important.
Yes.
Yeah. I love conferences, dog training conferences, dog grooming conferences. I mean, they just always leave me feeling like I want to go to try more.
Yeah, and
See, I like that about this group is that you guys, we all bring something different.
yes,
And I like the business conference.
right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, Katie, do you want to go with me? She's gonna be like, yeah, no, you go.
So
Bring it
Dara,
back.
Yeah, but
bring it back, please.
the difference is that I need to go. Whether I want to or not.
So Dara, one of my goals for this year is one that you probably would be able to spearhead if anybody else is interested in this topic, but I want to start taking it really seriously to save for retirement.
Oh, yeah.
That's so many of us scrimmers don't do much of that, and I'm like,
Right.
I want to start thinking about that this year and start going through and making sure that I am set up properly for that.
Mm-hmm.
So should we put that as one of our month
I think
topics?
that should be.
Yeah.
I think it's very
We should.
important.
I think so. Yeah.
And get some help. I mean, that's I can think of some. I know a couple groomers right off the top of my head that I know do a really good job at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that might be a really good. And if we started that off, I think.
I mean, I can't be the only one thinking about it.
No, but you know what? But I'm just going to throw this out there. I mean, you come from a household with 2 business owners.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So you guys should be preparing for that. And that's something that,
and we are, but is it good enough? And this is stuff to look at when you're in your 50s.
That's
or your 30s or your 20s or your
20s. You think about it this way.
Yeah.
If you started putting in your 20s $5 a day aside into an account, you would be decent, but not where you need to be, because then you're going to have to take that and you're going to have to look at investments. And I'm not talking about property investments, though a lot of people do, but you've got to, we work with we're with Edward Jones.
Yeah.
So we've got high risk
401ks and mutual funds and
investments, high risk investments, savings accounts. Where is the money going to work the best for you? And you got to have that. So I'm not an expert on it by any means, but I can definitely, I'm lucky that my husband works healthily at a corporate, and so we have his that he's been building for 20 something years with the business, but that also comes in with a pension, and there's not a lot of people out there that have pensions that can depend on either a husband or a wife if we are self-employed, that those are crucial when you do retire. Otherwise you're going to be paying $6,000 a month for your medical benefits.
Yeah.
So having money put aside for that in itself is, and Angie said, Angie wants to talk about that too. So,
good.
we
because
your hand.
Houses killing each other only gets you so much money.
How about
I don't want to have to watch my back.
You mean you can't do that?
But disability insurance? How many members have disability insurance or that coverage for themselves? Long term, short term, that's something.
And we have a very physical job that, even though I love what I do and I would like to continue it for my whole life, I think at this point, there could be a time when I can't.
Right. I mean, we live in New England. It just means stepping outside and falling on ice. What's going to happen?
I did that in February.
I did that a couple days ago. I slid right across my driveway in front of a bunch of horses. It was great.
That's how I partially dislocated my shoulder about 10 years ago, and it still acts up once in a while.
All right, so knock on wood so that nobody falls that's viewing, watching anything like that. That's scary. Hospitalizations, anything like that. Bad dog bites. It's that's.
It doesn't even have to be something like that. It can be a heart attack, a stroke. you know,
COVID.
things,
Oh,
COVID,
God,
things that,
COVID.
you know, things you can't control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Yep.
that you can control falling on the ice either, but you know.
You
Cleats.
can kind of control it. I should have
Well,
known.
Yeah.
Cleats.
Cleats.
exactly.
They're called snow tires. All right. So Diane over here said she's looking forward to continuing education in the new year, and that in South Austin there's a cat workshop.
Ooh.
Great.
Please
Nice.
do share. Who is that? What is that? Who's doing that? Very intrigued to know more about
Yes,
that.
Yeah.
That
definitely.
is one thing we don't have a lot of, and it's coming more. Cats are coming more and more. We did a whole month on it back in, was it May or June? We did all things feline.
Mhm.
So yeah, cats are very just like Angie said with the littles. There's so many little creatures out there that need grooming.
Exactly.
But I like this topic, so maybe we should change up these. Do you want to look into that for January and kick the year off smartly?
Absolutely.
What do you guys think?
Sure.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
switched off the screen.
Mhm.
So, cats. Angie says cats equal money.
Yeah.
So
That is true.
there's your retirement.
Yeah, and that
Right,
never
right.
used to be
Go
true,
from
and now it
scratch.
is. Yeah.
Now it definitely is.
Yeah.
They
Which
are
is a lesson to all the groomers. It used to be people wouldn't spend money on their cats, but when finding a
Yeah.
groomer became difficult, people
Yep.
are willing to spend it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will change this up here and see if we're going to do I mean, I guess we'll just do a whole month on, let's see, what do we say? Retirement. Retirement.
I
Insurance.
really do think that's important. Retirement insurance.
Yeah, and the differences in these and setting this up. So yeah, I'll get on that and have that set up, and our first one will be the first week in January. Might as well kick it off. Well done. That's a good question, Chrissy. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Katie is like me. Her husband works for a company and has the benefits. Lori, your
Yeah.
husband's self-employed. It's very,
Yeah.
you know, and
Yes, my husband's self-employed. We have some of the benefits set up from when he worked corporate. You know what I mean? That it's
Right.
set up and still in use. You know what I mean? That.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a worry. It's a concern.
Mhm.
You know.
And I think a lot of people who get into our industry think that when they're getting, they, well, for instance, I'm just going to use me really quick only because I really got heavily into grooming. It was never meant to be my career. And I got into it to put myself through high school or through college. And then my whole world topsy-turved, and I ended up getting married and moving to New England where I couldn't follow my career choice because it's not here.
Right.
So I fell back to grooming, and it was never on my radar. And I think a lot of us are like this, that this was going to be my long-term, my longevity, that this was going to be the core of my
Right.
career.
Yep.
And now I'm 45, I'm going to be 46. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm still doing this. And I didn't start this 20 years ago
Right.
when I should have.
Right.
And I would have been in much better shape. I started 10 years ago doing this. So I missed a 10-year for being able to save and help get the retirement started.
Yep.
So, Lori, you're sitting pretty. You're in a good position that you should be. You know, this is good for you to think about and talk about. So I will do some research on this.
I mean,
I like having a good solid week to be able to do.
I mean, there's so many goals that I want to accomplish, you know, within this new year. And like I said, writing it down, I can't stress enough how much that really works for you, because you can actually see it, you know,
you can see it
right there in paper. And pencil is the best way versus a computer for me.
It's proven that if you handwrite it down instead of it sticks better.
It puts it out there in the universe.
Right. You know,
right.
I mean,
right.
I can tell you that I just, you know, I thought to myself, you know, when COVID happened, I had to shut down because I lived in Maine. So I shut down my salon for about almost 2 months when COVID happens. And I was like, you know what? I want to teach. I've been doing this for a long time, and just putting it out there, just so everyone can see how this kind of works. I get a proposition to teach and how to do it, you know, and I thought of it the next day it happened. And now I have these goals, you know, and having just a month just to help other groomers who are beginning. I got into this because when I was 17, I bought a horse instead of a car. And I was like, well, now I need a job to keep this horse alive, you know, and my friend's like, oh, they're hiring as a bather. And I'm like, whatever, I'll start that for now while I'm in school, you know, and here I am 16 years later doing what I absolutely love, you know, and having that fallback plan. People are afraid to start their own businesses and they're just not educated in the laws and, you know, just how to do things correctly, whether you're an independent contractor or not. That's a huge topic, which people don't understand. Booth rentals is another one. They don't understand. They say it's all illegal, 1099. Well, educate yourself on it. See how to do it appropriately and how to make it legal so you can benefit, you know? And had I known this years ago, you know, I mean, you don't want to dwell in the past, but who would have known where you would have been? All this other stuff, you know?
Yep. Well, like one of my goals this year is it's been a continuous goal, but I'm still trying to. I've been chipping away at getting my IPG Master Groomer certification.
Yeah, that is such a lengthy process, and
it's not a super lengthy process. I'm kind of going through it, but that for many years was not my clientele. You know what I mean? So now I have, you know, like I have help with Lori's helping me find dogs for these, you know, tests
all her
and
dogs.
stuff. And so, you know, like,
everyone, I have them
I'm
ready
halfway
for her.
through the advanced professional groomer. I got to find like a toy breed to, you know, to do on a day when we don't have something else happening.
Marcus and Marlo, they're waiting for you. They're already accepted.
Oh, good. But that's one of my goals. It's been something I've been building on and working on, you know, and I just really want to do it, you know?
Right. It's awesome to have those goals.
Last year, or well, not last year yet, but we talked about goals all through January and setting goals. And that was a huge topic. And then we revisited it back in July for people. And, you know, I don't know how, so one of the things I had thought was that at the shop was to have our personal goals board so that it could be somewhere in the shop that it's down that you could always see, because part of it, and that's why, Chrissy, so many calendars, you know, because the other part of this is you also have to have a time frame. And if you're not setting a time frame to have these things accomplished, they, like you said, drag on and on and on. But I did a seminar in Texas at Pam's about the procrastination and time management and when I really started getting into that for my own personal training, which I did a lot of that in August and September, I had learned that time is only as valuable as you make it. And that I don't know if anybody else has picked up on it in the shop, but I no longer say I don't have time.
Nope, I picked up on it immediately.
I have all the time in the world. I don't, there's nothing more important that you made the choice, Chrissy, that work wasn't as important as being prepared for your family to come.
Yes. Yep. And I stand by that choice.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
absolutely, as you
Yeah.
should. I'm applauding that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, finding and saying, I have the time for everything. I have a list 20 miles long, but I'm chipping away at it because I got all the time in the world. But that list, there are things on it that I put in these blocks. It's just like our cubes that I'm looking at here. And I have the most important for the day, the not so important. Then I've got the ones that need to be prioritized, and then the not so. And I put a realistic thing. I put a realistic stamp on how much time I need to accomplish these. And as this main block, I'm looking up into my left-hand corner, that block clears out. I move from the right. It moves. Then my diagonal goes up to the right, and then everything moves and shifts. And then I add in the next.
But what is important is that you can actually move it. Some people are so stuck. This is how it has to happen. And if it doesn't happen this way, it won't work.
Right.
That's why.
Well, and I think sometimes too, as a list maker, like I make lists and I follow my lists, and sometimes I have to let that go because a new priority came up.
Yeah.
Like becoming master certified fell in the background because I'm like, I'm going to get my course up.
Yes.
So I decided to throw everything at that.
Everything at that.
I threw everything at that.
You don't want your other stuff, it just
it's just like that's on pause, lowered priority. But when I write my lists and stuff, I also write down how long it's going to take, because I can bang out a whole bunch of 5-minute tasks and suddenly my list is like half of what it was. Or a task that gets me prepared for something 2 weeks from now, like if I do it now, ta-da, it's all done, And
so I have a question, motivation wise, how, if it's a long-term, not necessarily a long-term goal, but something that's going to take you 3 months, say, how do you stay motivated?
I break it down.
Yes.
Okay.
Cube it down into small segments. I'm going to finish task 1, 2, and 3 before and prioritize them in that way. Because once you finish that 1, 2, and 3, your motivation is going to be like, yes, now you're not looking at it as this, you're looking at it as this.
Because my issue with, as far as finishing my dog training certification, is motivation. 100%.
I've never been cat butted before in a show.
That's funny. But Katie, what I can say is that I recently, within last year, have learned how to, exactly what Dara said, break it. Because my problem for the longest time was, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to accomplish this. My motivation, and then I'm just like, you know what? I'm just so tired.
Right, exactly.
The kids is what gets me tired, with my 2 young kids, and finding the motivation. If it wasn't for the fact, when I started breaking everything down to a couple steps at a time, I started getting this motivation of, okay, I just did that. What else? Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go more. But those first 3 tasks were hard, I will admit. But once those 3, and I finished those 3 because I broke it down, everything else was like, well, let's go. I'm ready. Let's continue it. But I needed to break it down in order to get myself motivated, because I can tell you the motivation is hard. And it's very hard when you're exhausted, let alone grooming in general. But you have a family life. A lot of people have family. And for you to be self-employed or running a business and then trying to have this motivation, break it down. Even if it's just 1 step a day, 5 minutes. I
sometimes plan a reward for myself when I hit a certain thing. Like whatever that reward may be, like maybe it's something as stupid as like going to see a movie, you know, but something I'm probably going to do anyway, but it makes me happy.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See,
I gotta run because I have a class starting.
Yeah.
You do. Yeah. In just a second. So okay, you gotta go. So I keep my book on my desk. So that's my motivation to finish my day's list, because I know I want to get back to reading.
Yeah.
Because that is what relaxes me. And when I get to pick up this, that means I get to have a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Good night, all.
Have a
Bye,
good class,
Chrissy.
Chrissy.
Bye.
Bye, Chrissy.
Yep. Oh, this was great.
Yeah.
This was hey, this exceeded my expectations for
Good.
tonight's show. I mean, it really does bring us right back full circle to starting with
Mhm.
goals again and setting
Yeah.
those and
Yeah.
having that, because it's so important to
It
do
really
that.
is.
And like you
Mhm.
said, one step, even if it's one chapter, one
Yeah,
page,
that's it.
Yep.
set what's realistic, because
Mhm.
you know how overwhelmed I used to get because I had this task of 50
Oh, that I'm
bazillion,
and that's
and
where
I
I
just
am
look
right
at it and
now.
go,
I am
"Oh
like,
my god." And it's like, "No, you know what?
the
One
Right.
thing at
struggle
a
is
time."
real.
I mean, I can tell you
Here's
right
the
now.
thing. What doesn't get finished today, if it's on your list and it
Look at
didn't get
that.
finished today, it wasn't that important to begin
Mhm.
with.
Mhm.
So
Right.
do what's important.
Yep.
And don't put the silly stuff on that list that's not going to matter, that is like, I can get to that when I need to, or I can delegate this to somebody
Mhm.
else.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep.
Accepting help
So,
is another one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
except
You
what?
know, as a business owner, and whether you're a manager, a business owner, or anything, learning to accept help
Right.
is a
Yeah.
huge thing. Not micromanaging. If you're hiring a manager,
Let
try
them
not
Let 'em
to.
manage.
do their job.
Yeah.
Let them do their
Exactly.
job. You're paying
Exactly.
them to do their job.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, I can tell for myself. I've been hired as a manager, but I wasn't able to manage because I was so micromanaged to the point where it was going to fail. And maybe teaching people, hey, you had the instinct to hire a manager, let them
Mhm.
do it, and
Yep.
let them exceed. Because if they start failing, then that's when you should step in and
Right.
educate and help,
Yep.
but you need that help, so accept it.
Yep.
Mhm.
And being okay with it, being okay to get criticized. I feel like a lot of us in this industry are, I don't want to talk to that shop, or I don't want to accept help, but be open to accept the help or to talk to the shop, because what if they can take these clients that you can't accept,
Right.
and
Yeah.
vice versa. Katie, you say you love working with older dogs as much as I do.
Right.
I absolutely love that. But what if there's another shop down the road that has all the energy in the world to work with a puppy? Have
Exactly.
that open communication, being okay with that,
Right.
which is the biggest thing, because people are not. They're so shut in their world, and I
Yeah.
don't want to work with anyone. And it's
Mhm.
so odd. When I moved to the state that I live in, they were closed. They didn't want to work with anyone. There was only one area that was open to helping each other, and that community is what I would love to see this industry get into all over the world.
Yeah.
And help each other out.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Important, and accept the help, no matter if
And
you've been
don't
doing
be
this for 2 years or 40 years.
right. And don't be afraid to ask for it if you need it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, Katie, I've gone to you and like, all right, I have this situation.
Yeah.
I might
Oh,
not
yeah.
talk to you in a couple months, but Katie, hey, I have
Yep.
this situation.
Right.
How do I deal with this?
We do it all the time.
All the time, all the time. Dara, 12 o'clock at night. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we get those frantic phone calls. Oh my
Yep.
god.
Oh gosh.
But
Oh,
it's nice to have a group of people who understand too. So
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
And
all right.
sometimes, yeah,
Oh,
go ahead.
go ahead.
You're
No,
fine.
no, no. Go, go,
I
go.
was gonna say sometimes it's just nice to get people that do the same thing as you. Everybody just gets together and just vents.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just needs to come out, and like my husband doesn't understand, so I call Jen, who runs the daycare up the street from me, and we go out and have a drink because or if it's grooming related, I call Dara. So
Yeah.
yep, you just need support sometimes.
You just need
Yeah.
support, and
Yep.
not catty support.
Mm.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter that we do things different. It doesn't matter that
Nope.
things are different in our shop versus your shop versus their
Right.
shop. It
Right.
shouldn't
Right.
matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
But
You
there's
know,
just so many
we're
dogs.
yeah. It's
Exactly.
what?
There's so many dogs,
Oh
and
my
it should
God,
Gosh,
yes.
never
yeah, there's so
matter.
many
Yep.
dogs. Yep. All right. Well, I have my work cut out for me for next month's topic.
No pressure, though.
So if anybody else wants to work on a little bit of this with me, I'd appreciate some help. And yeah, I'm going to try and see if I can find somebody to maybe I'll see if our financial planner would be willing to come on and talk to us too one of the times
That's
and
a good
answer
idea.
questions.
Yep.
So I'll see if he'll do that and be vague. But
Right.
that'll be a good way to get the ball started.
Right.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
that spark, just
Mhm.
to help somebody.
Yep. So watch
Yep.
for that. I will post that and I'll work on that in the next couple days. And yeah, we'll wrap up 2021 with I'm not going to say bang, but it
Please
was.
don't.
With the excitement.
I tell you what, I am really looking forward to 2022.
Oh, me too.
I really
So many goals. It's so exciting.
Yep. So I'm going to keep on this goal topic too. I'm going to check in. Again, we have so many viewers that are out there. Guys, send us. Let us help you
Yeah,
reach
definitely.
these goals.
Yeah,
They're
absolutely.
You're not alone in creating these. You are not alone with needing to reach a new level. And
Right.
there are so many ways to do it. Personally,
Yeah.
business, artistically,
Right.
however.
Wherever you're new at this. I mean, this is the first time I'm live in a video. You would have told me that I would
This
have
is
done.
your first time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you would have told me
Welcome
that I
to
would
the
have
Pepper
won.
Educators.
Thank you. If you would have told me that I would be an educator, two, holding a podcast as well on top of everything else, I would have been like, yeah, get out of town.
Right.
And I mean, when you have a good group of people who are so passionate to just groom and continue your education, you'll get that group. You will get it. Just push on through because your struggles will work through the end. And we've all been there, and we've all thought, oh my God, can we succeed? Can we succeed? Well, guess what? You can succeed, and
Absolutely.
you have people who will help you succeed. Just take a second to reach out. And trust me, we will always be there. No matter who we are, we'll be there all over the world. I took classes from a woman in Japan who's #1. And just because I just messaged her, she didn't understand me and I didn't understand her. And I just watched, and she tried to translate. But guess what? She did it. She answered my question somehow, Just reach out. We're all there to help each other. And I am always willing. My information's always out there. Come contact any one of us. It doesn't matter. It's great.
Yep.
It's great to have this community.
Yep.
Yes. Angie, we love you. Hugs to you.
Yes, hugs, Angie.
Our new year is coming, and
Mhm.
Groomer Jen, you need a mentor. All right. Track 3, where are you located? I keep forgetting where Groomer Jen is located because she needs help finding dogs to finish her track 3 for the IPG. Yeah, a lot of us were kicked by 2021, 2020, 2019.
Yeah.
We're ready for some good years ahead.
No kidding.
Yes, please.
But Jen, no, I don't necessarily think your goals need to
tired.
be completely changed, but maybe the mindset of them is what needs to be changed. Not necessarily the goals themselves, but how you're approaching them. So reach out to me. If you want to send me your list and we can look at it and go over it, I'd be thrilled to sit down and do hour with you and look at your
Mhm.
goals and see what we can do to make them happen for you. So,
Yeah, and more realistic too.
yeah, message me and we'll do it right over Zoom. I'm free and would love to do that with you.
We
So,
always have the time, you know?
Yep.
I
It's
always have the
always have the
time.
time. Doesn't matter.
It's all about the
We
time.
always have the time.
Yep. So, she's in Utah. Okay. We
Okay.
can still do it over Zoom.
We can do it.
Yep.
We will make it happen.
And yeah, we can figure out we'll yeah,
Technology is wonderful.
technology is great.
That's the
Yep.
All
good
right,
thing about
ladies.
this whole thing.
So for all of our viewers, happy New Year. I hope
Yep.
your December was wonderful and your holidays were wonderful. And thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for joining us this year.
Yes.
We will all be together one of these days, but you
Mhm.
know, there's a reason that there's a bunch of us now.
Yep.
So,
And
because
here's to a safe and productive 2022.
yes,
We can do it.
absolutely.
We
do
can
it.
definitely do it.
Yep.
Reach out to anyone.
Yep.
Mhm.
All right. I'm going to do our ending and we'll. That's my countdown. Wrong one. I don't want to count down yet.
No, please not yet.